So the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 has been out for a little bit of time now. Actually, it's been about like 4 years almost. So let's go and see how it holds up in the middle part of 2023. Now, the thing I will definitely tell you about the Note 10 is that this isn't really the first device I would recommend people to buy anymore. It was a very good phone when it was a good phone when it first came out, maybe not a very good phone, but I do think in 2023, it's still an interesting device, and although I wouldn't really recommend buying it anymore, I still think it's kind of cool to kind of, look at sometimes. On the front of this phone, or at least on the outside, we had a 6.3-inch dynamic AMOLED display, and it was a 1080p panel, 60Hz, so nothing crazy, but it was a pretty good looking phone. And honestly, when you look at a lot of phones nowadays, they don't really look that far from this thing. Like, this thing still looks very modern, hole punch center in the display, fingerprint sensor in the display as well. It's a pretty decent looking phone overall, and I think it gets a thumbs up from me for sure. On the bottom, you're getting that USB Type-C port, which is great. You're getting Samsung DeX on this phone too, which is really, really awesome. You're getting the S Pen on this device as well, which again is one of the coolest features of having a phone like this. You can literally just plug in a stylus and plug it out, and that's an awesome feature that you're getting on this device. On the back, glass back, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, IP certification, and you're also getting that triple camera setup on the back as well. And I definitely do think a phone like this is very, very solid. I think Samsung knocked it out of the park with the body of this thing, and even in the camera side of things, Samsung knocked it out of the park as well. This is a very, very good quality camera, and you have the ability of zooming in, zooming out, with all three sensors that you normally would have, and that's an awesome thing that Samsung did here. You're also getting 4K at 60 on the front and the back on this specific phone too, so I'll definitely tell you from the camera side, it still gets a thumbs up from me, and not much has changed from my early 2023 review of this thing. On top of that, the biggest downside I would say of this phone, which is quite obvious, would probably be the software. It kind of stopped getting software at Android 12. As of right now, it's technically only one version of Android behind, but we are on Android 14, the betas, or almost the public release of that thing. So that also kind of puts this specific phone in a sticky situation as well, because if you're planning on buying a phone like this, you're also going to be stuck in a kind of a weird spot where this phone is not really going to be getting software updates. So I would hate to recommend a phone to people to buy that's going to be probably outdated with software probably sooner than later. So kind of a big thing to keep in mind. I hate to be that guy, but just what kind of has to happen. This phone probably is not worth buying anymore because of the software updates, if I'm being honest. Now, on top of that, this phone's performance-wise, honestly, is still not even that bad. I still pick this thing up from time to time, and it's honestly not that bad of a performing phone. So internally, you are getting that Snapdragon 855 chipset inside with 8GB of RAM. It's the same amount of RAM that we have in like the Galaxy S23, and surprisingly, the chipset, although it is kind of a little bit more outdated now than before, it's actually still not even that bad. And I do think Qualcomm at the time made a decent chipset, definitely not the best one they've ever made, but I would say whenever I pick this thing up and I still play some games and I still do some things here and there, it's really not that bad of an experience. And I've definitely had phones that were probably even newer than this thing that have given me way worse experiences than I thought, maybe still better than this thing, but worse experiences than I thought than this thing has given me. So I will probably kind of end this off with saying that really the only reason I wouldn't recommend buying the Note 10 anymore is because of its software. It's pretty much outdated with software. There's not really a big reason to buy a phone like this because of its outdated softwareness, if that makes any sense. But there's still lots of other phones I'd recommend buying. The Pixel 7 is still worth buying. The Galaxy S21 is still worth buying. The Galaxy S20 might even be worth buying a little bit too. But this device really wouldn't be worth buying in my opinion. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.